Hello and welcome back to Morning Manna. We've been studying Micah chapter 6 verse 8, where it says, and this is the contemporary Christian Standard Bible, says, "Mankind, the Lord has shown you what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God." And yesterday, we began talking about what it means to act justly, to carry out justice. And we saw how God said that Abraham and Lot were righteous because they helped out people that were in need, people that came to them and needed a place to stay, needed food, and they brought them in. And God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah partially because they had all this wealth, but they did not help the poor. Now, I want to elaborate on this some because I want you to understand why this is so important. I'm going to read you a few verses that says that I think we need to hear in today's world. We live in a society that can be very harsh to people that are poor. We have entire political movements that are trying to crush people that are struggling, that are needy, that have no compassion whatsoever on these people. I mean, are willing to arrest them and drag them out of our country, willing to shoot them, willing to do whatever is necessary. We have cut off aid to children in Africa and allow them to starve, thousands and thousands of people. And I want you to hear what the Word of God says about this, because it's so easy when you live in a world of comfort, when you have what you need, when you have heat and clean water and a nice house, to shut your eyes and say, it's none of my business. Proverbs 14:31 in the English Standard Version says, "Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker. But he who is generous to the poor or to the needy honors God." Let me say that again. Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker. But he who is generous to the needy honors him. Now, you say, well, I don't oppress anybody. Well, God is showing you the two sides of it. People who are generous to the needy are the people who support them. People who don't support them, who don't share what they have, that do not care and fight for their justice. It's not just against them. They insult their maker. Proverbs 17:5 says, "Whoever mocks the poor insults his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished." When we see people that come to our country and people that are needy in our country that struggle to afford groceries, and we laugh at them and we make jokes about food stamps and things like that, it says here, they will not go unpunished. God knows. Isaiah 10:1 and 2 says, "Woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees." Now, what's an iniquitous? A sinful law. Who write sinful laws. "To turn aside the needy from justice and to rob the poor of my people of their rights." Powerful. Hear this. It's shocking when I read these things that we have whole branches of Christianity that support doing this very thing, to write laws to make sure people don't have their basic rights. It's not just the Bible. The Declaration of Independence, our foundational document, says that there are certain inalienable rights that were given by our Creator. And among those are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That these are God-given rights. And yet there are those who want to take those away. Zechariah 7:10 says, "Do not oppress the widow, the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. And let none of you devise evil against another in your heart. And you say, well, I don't devise evil against them. They're not my concern. The most basic teaching of Jesus is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the golden rule. That is the law of the kingdom. And I've yet to meet a person that want to be dragged out of their house and sent somewhere else, to be told, you are not worthy to receive food and clean water and a safe place to live. This is the scriptures. And then finally, Psalm 82, 3 and 4 says, defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Now, I know that the last couple of days, these have been some heavy messages. And you're like, I just don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear the word of the Lord then. Because this is what God is saying right now. There is a darkness that has come over our country and over the church where people are campaigning to do what is totally diametrically opposed to all that God teaches. Everything that Jesus said. And when we go back to this verse, it says, mankind, the Lord's shown you what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, to do justice, to make sure that those who are poor, oppressed, the foreigner, the weak, the broken, are taken care of, are protected, not rejected. Maybe you misread that. Protected. That's our cause. That is our calling. And I encourage you today to meditate on this, to pray on this, and say, God, what are you calling me to do? God, because God doesn't say things just to say them, and then we say, oh, that was nice. Let's go to the next thing. No, God says, I've called you to this. And I'm calling you right now, my people, to stand up and to be counted, to be light in the darkness, to be salt in this earth.